Hey everyone, it's me, and I need to discuss a couple things. Of course, I always need to discuss something. I always got something to say. I talk a lot. And today I'm going to be talking about this little guy right here. This noose that is part of my entrance, and it's part of my shtick, part of my act, part of my gimmick, part of my character, whatever. And this was an homage to two things. One, Henry Plummer and the Vigilantes of Montana. They used to string up corrupt sheriffs and all sorts of folks out there in the West. It was kind of just their sense of, we'll call it Wild West justice. It was an homage to that, and it was also a nod to my struggles with depression and suicidal thoughts. I'd look at this sucker and say,
"Not today, old friend. Not today."
And then, I'd throw it away. It was kind of a wink to overcoming depression and suicidal thoughts. However, since my last match of May 2019, times have changed. Times have changed a lot. There are people actually being lynched again. There are racist assholes who carry that thing, in the backs of their cars, just to show off where they stand. And I can't be a part of that anymore. And I had already heard a couple rumblings the first time that I was using that. Are you sure you want to do this? And I would just say, well, that's not what it's about. That's not the intention behind this. It was an homage, like I said, to the Vigilantes and stuff. And if I have to explain it every time, then it's a shitty gimmick and it's a shitty fucking prop. If you have to explain that no, this is why it's okay, then that's just me being too lazy to come up with anything better. And you see this a lot with entertainers these days. You'll hear this excuse all the time. Well, I can't do half the stuff that I have been because everybody's offended by everything these days. Everybody's so offended by everything these days. What was it? Jerry Seinfeld was talking about how he won't perform at colleges anymore because kids are just so easily offended. I'm afraid of what to say. Here's the fucking problem with that. It's not a matter that everybody's offended by everything. Social norms and constructs change, and they have changed with the progression of time since this nation was born, and it's a good thing. So when you're out there saying, well, I can't do half my shit because everybody's offended, you're admitting that you lack the talent as a performer, as an entertainer, to adapt with the times. If you were half as talented as you tell everyone you are, you shouldn't need to fall back on that old shit. You should be able to come up with new shit. But you don't see that. You see a bunch of people outraged at the audience. They're blaming the audience for the audience not being entertained. What kind of logic is that? Because they don't enjoy what you're putting out, you're going to blame them. Well, this is good shit. You people just don't know good shit when you see it. Shut up. Shut up. I will never come out to the ring with that noose again. And honestly, the times that I did, even though my intentions weren't racist, I can easily see how it could have been construed as racist. But I was so selfish and so self-absorbed that I just assumed if I went out there and I yelled Montana enough, people would just, get it. I don't think a lot of them did. And as much as I loved it because it really did make me feel like I was bringing a piece of my history to my act, to my character, I can't in good conscience use it anymore. And that's not the audience's fault. It's not. That's not how this works. Times change. We change with the times because we, as a society, progress towards the betterment and the greater good for everyone. That's what we do as a people. I don't need that noose to say that I'm from Montana. Hell, gun belt, put a beer or a small thing of whiskey in there. Boom, I'm from Montana again. And to anybody wondering, yes, this was actually used by a real cowboy who gifted it to me. Because cowboys still exist out there. Y'all just don't know what a cowboy is. But my main point I'm trying to say is that we need to stop blaming the audience. We need to stop putting our shortcomings as entertainers on the audience. It's not a matter that they want to, cancel us. It's not a matter that cancel culture exists, because all these celebrities that keep getting canceled, they still get work. I mean, shit, Roseanne's already getting ready for her big comeback. Louis C.K., he's performing in clubs again. Well, not now, thanks to COVID, but you get the idea. It's not a matter that everybody's offended by everything these days. It's a matter that the world has changed and you refuse to change with the world. The excuse that things have always been done this way is the worst excuse you can have for not adapting to the times. You follow me? Is this really hard to understand? Montana. And so that's basically the only point I wanted to make. I'm not using the noose anymore because I understand that it's not a matter of a whole other group of people being offended. It's a matter that there's an entire group of people that is used to instill fear into. And not just, fear of anything. Fear of death. And who am I? Who am I to use that just because my intentions are not the same as the other people that are using that? My intentions do not matter. It's the perception of the people I'm trying to entertain that matters. And since I'm not dependent on that, I don't have to use it in my act anymore. And there's a lot of people that really need to understand that. It's not a matter that everybody's offended by everything. It's not a matter that the audience just doesn't laugh at the right jokes or the audience isn't entertained by the right stuff that's always entertained them before. It's a matter that times change. And if you want to continue to be entertaining the audience, you need to understand what the audience is entertained by. If you have to blame the audience for not being entertained by you, you suck. And you are flat out admitting to the entire world that you lack the talent to change your act. That's all. Change with the times. Take responsibility. Move on. But as long as you keep hanging on to the way things were, the more you're going to be ostracized from the way things are.